I know Cody doesn't like watching them play defense, but SGA like doesn't shoot a lot of threes, like a lot of free throws, a lot of mid-range twos, gets to his spot. Let me watch him play all day long. If I'm Joe Mazzulla, I'm putting on film of SGA and I'm saying, fellas, like we don't have to make it this hard all the time. So I'm into it.
And tonight, Indiana is -2. They're -135 on the money line. I like Indiana at 2.5 at Sportsbook Rhode Island, and 2.5 at DraftKings. I got 2 on my local book. But man, Jay, there's something about the Pacers that have that feel of like 03-04 Pistons, where they don't really have a superstar, but they have a couple of guys who are playing high end. And really a big difference maker for Indiana has been Aaron Nesmith. And who would have thought the guy that was traded away from Malcolm Brogdon, who ultimately got traded away for something else and the whole kicking it down the road, that guy has been an X factor in this series. And there is a different kind of feel to Indiana right now. I just feel like the Knicks are so stagnant offensively sometimes, and you don't know who's going to step up. Like Karl-Anthony Towns did last time out. I don't think he's consistent enough that you can count on him. So there's a lot of pressure on Jalen Brunson, but I love the way Halliburton's getting people involved early. Halliburton is a better Rajon Rondo. He's an all-around guy who can score, but only really does it when he needs to. He's a better player than Rondo, but in terms of stylistically, whereas Brunson's a ball hog, basically, and he's out there dicking around until he can get an angle or make a shot or get a free shot. Halliburton's getting everybody else involved, kind of the way Rondo did, and his kind of comes in dribs and drabs.
Gosh, I feel like if Rajon Rondo was leading that Celtics team for the games 1 and 2 against the Knicks, or the Pacers team in game 3, all 3 of those teams hold that 20-point lead. The point guard needs to get that done. But it really is interesting for me when I look at, blowing a 20-point lead like that. And I think the Knicks did figure out some things on defense. It is unbelievable how that team, once they get down 20, they become a different team. And Karl-Anthony Towns, whether you like him or not, is a supremely gifted basketball player. And when he's locked in, is really, really dangerous. I think the Pacers maybe got shaken a little bit in their confidence last night. Aaron Nesmith with the sprained ankle, we'll see how healthy he can be. Indiana is deep, but to me, when you blow a game like that, and look, there's a reason why this is basically a pick-em game, couple points here or there. The Knicks can most certainly win this basketball game. So I think for Indiana, I think, as they said in game 2, they knew the Knicks were going to come out really hungry, punch them in the mouth. They looked to punch them in the mouth first. I think they need to do that, but I like the Knicks tonight. Yes, I do the emotional hedge where I bet on the Knicks and hope that I'm paying for losses. The Knicks getting into the NBA Finals is my nightmare from a gambling standpoint. Keep in mind, I have a 42-1 ticket on the Indiana Pacers to win the Eastern Conference, right? So that's a bet that, just to give you a little context, my brother John, for his 2 bosses, every year he buys $10, $12, $100 future tickets. And the Pacers was one of the ones I suggested. So John gave me that ticket. If I have the Pacers 42-1, you can be sure I've hedged on the Knicks. But I am hedging on the Knicks in part because I don't want them to win. So I don't know what I expect tonight, but I'll be all over the Knicks in the sports book.
I can totally understand why there is the tug of the Knicks, because there is a lot to like for us kind of crusty New Englanders who grew up with teams that sort of did it the hard way. When you look at the Knicks, yes, they do have a flashy player in Brunson, but they're about grinding and playing defense and rebounding and stuff like that. You mentioned quickly on the SGA Ant-Man stuff. Ant-Man's finding out he needs his Jaylen Brown because OKC throws 3 high-level defenders at him. And if you look at what happened last night, he got swallowed up because there's really no difference from any of the 3, and that's SGA included. So for Ant-Man, it's been a tough go. But boy, oh boy, he's got a lot of spirit, a lot of competitiveness. And I think OKC, they're going to beat Minnesota, and they're going to close them out. But Ant-Man's going to have his say. Whatever, I don't know what the number is. I can look it up quickly, but I like Ant-Man over whatever point total they're going to put on him for that game, because he played like crap and admitted it after the game last night.
Yeah, but I don't know how much he admitted it. You know what I mean? He was sort of saying that he didn't struggle when he, you know what I mean? That I just sort of
Because he
let the
didn't
game
get up enough shots. Yeah,
But you know,
that's
it's interesting. The guy they bring in to be his Robin, you know, Julius Randle, 1 for 7 last night, 5 points. He had been really good in the postseason, you know, in that trade for Cat. But you can't have a night off like that. Only 20 shot attempts for those two guys last night, right? 21 points total for Edwards and Randle. That's not enough. And a close game. SGA's cousin on the other side of Minnesota, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he was the best player on the other side. Pretty interesting, right? So he had 23 points, 9 of 15 shooting last night, but he's D'ing up his cousin, SGA. I mean, that's really an interesting piece of this series for me.
Okay, imagine this. Jason Anik guarding younger brother Anik with
John, younger brother.
With John on the call.
Wow. Younger brother's taller, pretty good in the post.
But you're scrappy.
But yeah, I'm a guard.
And you got 2 inches from the hair.
No doubt.
So we could cheat the height a little bit.
Yep.
And John on the call. That'd be fantastic.
Yep.
That's for the Anik family reunion.
I like my chances against younger brother. John might get me 6 out of 10 times one-on-one.
Really? Like
better shooter.
Okay. All right, I got you.
I'll get in the paint. You know what I mean?
At some point, I have a half-court basketball court, and I have the windy. I got the Goal-O-Rama, so we could lower it to like white guy 8 feet if we wanted to, and really had ourselves some schoolyard fun.
I love it.
Yeah, that'd be a blast.
I'm down.
I'm down. I could watch this all day, Cody. God dang it, you're distracting me. Blanchfield against Barber. We got a fight night coming up. That is the main event. Best fight on the card by far. I'm curious for thoughts. I had a guy that I worked with at EEI who told me like a while back. He was like, you got to check out this Erin Blanchfield. It's like she's gonna when she comes on the scene, look out. And then it was, hey, you got to watch Macy Barber. And now pretty quickly, it feels like to me, I might be dead wrong. Maybe they've both been fighting for 15 years. I have no idea. It felt like this fight got done pretty quickly. I'm so excited for it because, I just think they're going to beat the shit out of each other. It's going to be a great fight.
Well, Macy Barber will be very happy if they beat the shit out of each other. I think for Blanchfield, she would get her down on the mat and she wouldn't be able to move. And what I always say was interesting, and Macy Barber's about a 2-1 underdog in this fight, but what's always interesting for me is I can find a fighter or coach on one side and a fighter or coach on the other side, right? Yeah. I said to Bilal Muhammad on our show this week, remember the show Thursdays live. I said to him this week, Macy Barber 2-1. I think she's live. She can do it in a lot of different places. I think Erin Blanchfield is still somewhat limited. Bilal couldn't have been more with me. I was talking to Dean Thomas yesterday, and he said if Blanchfield gets it where she wants to go, it could be problems for Macy. Macy can tend to be a little bit aggressive in certain ways, and that maybe wouldn't work that well for her. But, a lot of fighters evolve and grow, right? Like I said to Dean, I think Macy is going to be at a place where she's going to control that aggression, and I think maybe can get this fight where she wants it to be and perhaps keep it standing. But, yeah, I'm excited for that one. And unless I'm mistaken, co-main event, Ludovic Klein, Mateusz Gamrot. Yeah, that is heat. Excited for that.
Good one. So we got a very nice fight night coming up for everybody to sink their teeth into. I got to tell you, I hate it when they're off. And they were off last weekend because even my wife said to me, she was like, hey, when do the fights start? It's not like if.
That's
it's
hilarious.
More of the when do the fights start, because they're always on in this house. Always.
That's what Dana White wants to hear.